Good morning, everybody. It is super early and we are out here. We're fishing an inlet today and it's super windy. I contemplated not even coming out because of how windy it is, so bear with me with that audio. The wind is ripping, but we're out here looking for some bluefish. We went to Montauk the other day. We had some little blues, we had some little bass. We're looking for some I guess decent bluefish, decent bass, and we're actually going to be trying for some fluke as well. You guys have seen it a lot in the last couple videos. We're trying to get some fluke. Right here is one of my favorite spots to try to actually get that done without having to go and, you know, fish the open beach where the wind is just ripping from the south. So it would be pretty difficult, one, to fish, and two, to bear with this audio. So we're going to give this spot a shot. We're gonna fish off the rocks, start off with a 7-foot rod. If we see anything going on, we'll start off with our 10, or we'll switch over to the 10 and go for some bigger fish. But we're gonna target some fluke first, then some bass and blues. Let's go.
What is it? What is it? It's a sea robin. This is not the fish we're going after. We got a sea robin. All right, so we didn't get skunked. However, that's not the fish we're targeting. But fish is a fish. Good way to start instead of getting skunked for hours. So, air kiss. See you later, buddy. That means we were working this properly. It was on the bottom in order for that thing to go after it. So just gotta keep doing that and hope that a fluke goes by. Very weedy. So throwing around a big weight like that, dragging on the bottom, is just pulling up way too many weeds. So there's really no way around it. It's not like I'm going to switch to something that's not going to pull up weeds. But we do have our bucket. We have our bucket full of stuff. Smooch and release silicone jig, 1 ounce fire tiger. Yeah, buddy, it's going to catch us some fish. This just looks disgusting. I don't even want to touch it, but catch fish. Gross. Stuff's like 3 years old. 3-year-old leaky gulp. Oh yeah, talk about a stank. Let's go. There we go. That might be a fluke. Yep. Little flukage. Alright, so we got our target species. It's just not the correct size. It's got to be 19 inches to keep. And we caught a fluke though. We definitely caught a fluke. It's a little guy. A little cold too. That's weird. It's been so hot the last like month. But got a little tiny fluke. Mooch and release silicone jig with a little piece of gulp. Yeah, baby. So this is one of my favorite setups for fluke fishing. It's a 7.3 medium fast action Legend Tournament inshore from St. Croix with a Stratic 4000. The only reason I have a 4000 as opposed to 3000 is for extra line. So the line capacity is a little bit more with the 4000 as opposed to the 3, so I can switch this up for light tackle stripers, and if I need to cast something larger, cast farther, get some drag pulled if it's a big fish. I know I got some extra line, and this is only 10-pound test, so super finesse. Let's go catch more. That feels like another small fluke. Very small fluke. He just picked up some weight, maybe not so small. Oh, he's fighting now. It's bigger than the other one. All right, so I think he's approximately 17-ish inches. I'll be right back. 16. That's the little fluke. 16 inches. A couple years ago that would have been a keeper, but that's why he snapped me off. The jig is all the way down his throat. There's another little fluke. Let's hope this one didn't swallow it. It doesn't fall down the rocks. A little tiny fluke. This guy's probably like 13 inches on a smooch and release silicone jig. Little guy. Got a cool color pattern to him though. Nice and dark. Mwah. So the key to fishing bottom in something like this, where it's moving really, really fast, is the weight. So this is a 1 ounce smooch and release silicone jig. You can find them on the website if you want to purchase them. Obviously they catch fish. This is my go-to bait for fluke, but it's that weight getting down on the bottom. You got to stay on the bottom because that's where the fluke are. So we fished with a 1/4 ounce jig head when we first got here. Wasn't doing anything. We switched up to a 3/4 ounce. Couldn't really stay on the bottom. So then we went up to a 1 ounce smooch release silicone jig, and now we're sitting on the bottom. We're getting sea robins, we're getting a bunch of fluke. So really, when it comes to current, you got to find something that's going to stay on the bottom, and make sure you have a rod that can handle throwing a 1 ounce lure, or even setting the hook on a 1 ounce lure, because a lot of times the bigger jigs have bigger hooks, so you don't want to use a flimsy rod or something that doesn't have a power to be able to set the hook that the jig head has on it. So we're going to continue to fish this one spot. Seems like it's producing. Maybe we can get a keeper fluke. We'll see. A lot of times in the current, you'll be working the bottom over here. Say the current's going this way like it is now. You'll be working the bottom here, and then all of a sudden you'll end up drifting up because of the amount of line that you're pulling up. You'll have tension between your line here and the bait, which will just pendulum it up. So a lot of times you just gotta follow your drift, make sure you maintain bottom, open your bail, and let it get back down to the bottom. It's a 1 ounce weight. It's not gonna take that long to get back down to the bottom, but just make sure that you're maintaining bottom. And that's where we talked about with the weight of the jig head, but also your technique, your presentation, because these fluke aren't, most of the time, they're not swimming in the middle of the water column or the surface. So you got to make sure that this is always there on the bottoms. And like I said, you could be here and it drifts and it pendulums all the way up. You got to make sure about this point right in front of you, you do it a little slower, you reel up a little slower, you jig a little slower, or you let a lot more line out. Also in this current, you want to cast up current first and work your way down. I kind of just walked right over that instead of saying that in both of the little clips talking about what to do, but you want to cast up current. That way you're able to work the entire area, where if you were to cast right in front of you, by the time it gets down to the bottom, it's probably here, and then you're penduluming up, so you're not really working the bait as you should. So always cast up current, especially when you're working the bottom like we are today. Another little fluke. Bunch of little guys today. Little tiny microscopic sea robin. Little tiny dude. Mwah. So a lot of times, sea robin, they swim in schools. So if you catch one, there's a chance that you're gonna catch another one right afterwards. So if you do hook up right after that last sea robin, chances are you caught another sea robin.
All right, so the bite died down here drastically. It seems like it's probably an early morning bite, which I can't say for sure because I haven't been here very often. But it seemed to be around like 9:30-ish is when the bite turned off. It's 10:30 now. So I'm gonna go home. I've been fishing for about 5 hours. Had a couple fluke, couple sea robins. One of the kids said he caught some blues, which just like Montauk, they were little guys and they were there for a little bit and then they were gone. So we're gonna go try to find some more fish for about another hour and a half and then go take care of some business. Let's go. All right, so we are here. We are at the second spot. However, it is really, really low and I can see for a fact that there are a lot of weeds in here. We're gonna give it a shot. We still have about an hour. Might be able to get some more fluke, I don't know. But I got about an hour left before I wanna go home. There's some dudes out in kayaks, there's still boats. Downpoured on the way here. I didn't hit the downpour, but everything is flooded, soaked. Yeah, so we're gonna go. Let's go. Let's just go. One of the perks of having this jacket. I'll link this one down below. You can get 15% off if you use the code Pauly15. But it's super, super lightweight and it doesn't make me sweat in this. Let's see, what is it? 81 degrees right now. And it's raining. I just don't want to get wet. Not that I'm going to freeze or anything. So this whole spot is all sandy around this corner. And then there's a drop off. So we're gonna try here for the fluke. It looks like a bunch of people are doing the same thing, but it looks like they're picking up weeds because they're just bait fishing. But we're gonna give it a shot here, see what happens. Got a little bit of time. Hopefully we get more. Let's go.